Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So I guess I'll be revisiting a topic that I talked about when Operation Dark Hours was released. We basically looked at, a few things regarding raid and the social aspect of it. Now, this is the matchmaking. When the raid was first released and there wasn't any matchmaking system, I personally didn't want to engage in the raid, honestly. I was like, well, it doesn't seem like content for me, but this is because I was not on holiday. My job gets holiday in the summer. So at the time the first raid released, there was no way I could actually come together, try to put together a team and try to beat it. So I kind of backed away, and also matchmaking wasn't there, so it just wasn't convenient for me. Now, I'm still a proponent of matchmaking, but it seems like there's a huge number of the community that is still like adamant about it because they feel it's not necessary. But let's look at two different formulas, okay? Before you jump on the comment section, let's look at this. So Massive says we don't need matchmaking because you can go into the Discord servers and find teams, and we need people to be able to communicate to reduce frustration. I think that was basically the premise of why they didn't put matchmaking in a raid. But in my opinion, I see no difference, because if you look at Massive's formula, or the formula that's basically supported, and a lot of people are supporting about needing no matchmaking, and if you look at the formula for using a matchmaking, the end goal and the end result still comes down to be the same. What do I mean? So if there's a matchmaking system in the raid, you go there and you queue and you join a group, the steps and the actions you guys in that 8-man group take from there will still determine the outcome of the raid, whether it be successful or not. Also, if you go through Discord, then go into the matchmaking, or the whatever it is, the joining of the group where you have the team leader, your actions as well will still go to the outcome of the raid. Because at the same time, as crazy as it sounds, we have had Discord groups where we started and we came together in the Discord group, and we had people that were in that Discord group that didn't have a microphone. In some cases, the raid leader kicked them out. In some cases, the raid leader said, as long as they follow instructions, we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna do it. And we've also come through Discord groups, and we've also basically gone into the raid. Everybody was all mic'd up and everything, and in some cases we were successful, in some cases we failed. So nonetheless, when there's a matchmaking system, if you go through the matchmaking formula, the raid leader can also decide that everybody then makes their way into Discord and make sure that they either have a mic, or they'll be able to deal without a mic with some agents, or 1 or 2 agents, if they can just hear and listen, and then go into the raid. And the outcome still depends largely on the competency, build, and synergy of the team, regardless of if they came in through matchmaking or if they came in through the Discord or the LFG groups. I think, in my opinion, the only thing that the matchmaking does is provide convenience. I've played raids in groups that we got from Discord servers that everybody did not know what they were doing. I've played in groups where there were certain people who just did not listen to instruction, kept stepping into the circle. You know the circle, for those of you who've played the raid enough, and they had a microphone and they had, a headset and everything, and they could not follow instructions. So I can see where there is, some tug and pull about the method. But at the same time, now that I've looked at both methods, you still need to go to join a Discord group nonetheless. And there's also the raid discovery that I think some people who want to play the real raid can actually use to find a bunch of people and say, hey, who all has played this discovery before? And then they can get a group together and go into the main raid and also get to deal with it and beat it. But I don't know if Discovery is going to be available on day one, because if Discovery is available on day one, well, people can jump into Discovery and quickly figure out the raid and then run into the regular raid and then beat it and then become world's first, while there are people that are trying to grind to figure out how the raid works. But we don't know. They might bring it all out and everything. Now, what I would say is, for those who really do want to beat the raid, who want to engage in the raid, I think you're going to beat the raid. I know it's going to be frustrating at first, but because of your resilience, you're going to keep trying, and you're eventually going to beat the raid. You find a good group and you're going to beat it. I've seen a lot of people say the raid is only for 10% of the community, but I think that's a very, very superficial way of looking at it. Right now on PlayStation, one of our content creators in this community, the vibes, is constantly and consistently carrying teams of people through raids. People just go, queue, sign up. This actually overcuts the aspect of having to deal with an LFG group with somebody that you have no knowledge of who they are. So if you're on, PlayStation, I think you have a big chance of actually signing up for this particular program and most likely coming out to where you beat the raid, because it's not only him, it's him and a bunch of members of the community who have the experience that'll be happy to run the raid with you. You just have to make sure that you have your stuff together. You got your build, and at least, you have a means of communication and have knowledge of the raid, so that when you're in the scenario, you're able to follow instructions and you're able to, beat it. In Xbox world, I really don't know how that works, but I feel like if a lot more people actually were open-minded, even on the PlayStation side, I feel like that percentage will go up. I think what it is there's just this huge resignation that people already have that, well, since there's no matchmaking, I don't really care. I don't think that's the attitude that's going to beat the raid more than anything else. Now, if you don't want to play the raid, I'm not saying you got to go play the raid. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I wanted to make this video to show you that this next raid will be basically of very little consequence more than anything. And then I think the second side will be the raid reward at the end of the day. So they were so adamant about making, gear very raid exclusive. I don't know, nor do I think they're going to do that. I think they might maybe lock the blueprints behind the raid. That'll probably be the, something that players will have to overcome. But the weapon that comes at the end of this raid is the Ravenous. Now, on testing this weapon on the PTS, it is a slightly situational weapon that's not necessarily going to, knock everything out of the park, to be very honest. It's going to be a strong weapon, but unless they do some kind of a secret buff before the raid is released, I don't think that weapon will appeal or be the big driving force for a lot of people. Now, why am I saying this? One of the developers mentioned something in a past state of the game regarding the Eagle Bearer. He said, we did something with the Eagle Bearer where, it was the most powerful weapon in the game, and we don't want to make that same mistake again. He admitted that I think his name's Bruce. He admitted that there was a mistake in making the Eagle Bearer the very best weapon as some kind of a lure for people to jump into the raid. And instead, what this did was it even frustrated people because they couldn't even get past that hump to get into the raid in the first place. And that created more of a chasm and more of a frustration. And then when they tried to then reduce the efficiency of the Eagle Bearer, after crying was going on in the community as to how strong it was in PvP, some content creators back and forth called for it to be nerfed. Some people in the community called for it to be nerfed. Or guess what happened? People who had already gone through that, that curve to get it, eventually quit the game. I have a friend till this day. He's not even returning to the Division 2 anymore, and he farmed that Eagle Bearer dedicatedly. With his days off work, he farmed and farmed until he got it. And basically after getting it, in less than like 3 or 4 weeks, the weapon was already nerfed. And so I don't think they're going to do this with this, so-called Ravenous weapon and make it super powerful. If anything even tells you, you'll see the way they even treated the Bullhorn. The Bullhorn, basically the exclusive weapon to the legendary missions, is not a very powerful weapon. It's getting a buff, but the buff is not going to make it super competitive. It's just going to be more of a wall trophy than anything. Now, yes, the Ravenous is going to be better, but I don't think it's going to be something where it's a deal breaker for people. So at the end of the day, you can still enjoy your TU10 and not deal with the raid. But if you have the time, then nothing is going to stop you from, putting the resources out there and getting in a Discord group. You can get on Discord on your phone. You can use, get the app. You can connect your headset and you can join the Discord group regardless of, what platform you're on. If you maybe have a setup that's not like a PC, some of my friends actually play play on PC with the controller. That's what they use. They don't even use a mouse and a keyboard. They chill on their couch and they play. And for them to be able to get on something like Discord, they've rigged up some kind of really unconventional or maybe high-end setup to be able to have maybe a wireless headset that's connected to their Discord and all of that. But I don't see that as an obstacle. I do see it, though, as, something that doesn't provide the convenience that the entire game does provide. And almost, in my opinion, a breach of a promise. And I would say, they did say that you can matchmake on all activities. But then when it came down to the raid, they backtracked. I think the right thing they need to do by their community is to just add the matchmaking. It's not going to affect anything. Players who don't want to use it can always go to the LFG and Discord groups, can always go to the world chat on PC, or go to the groups in whatever platforms or Facebook platforms or clan platforms that they can find it. It's not going to hurt anything. Instead, I think what that matchmaking is even going to do is it's going to attract some players to coming in. But at the end of the day, players will choose how they want to play or how they want to approach this. And even largely now that the community is scaling down much more, clans are going to get much tighter. So at the end of the day, you still have to break into a Discord clan or a clan in the game that's active, using comment sections of YouTube videos and kind of doing some social sourcing to be able to find like-minded people to play, because there are a lot of people who are going to be like, I'm not going to play, and there are a lot of people who are walking away and leaving the game, but there are still some dedicated folks who wish to play, and I'm sure they'll be happy to take another competent player because, you know, time constraints also allow for more players to be useful. You know, I'm a part of like maybe almost 12 different Discord servers. Even though I have a Discord server that people come in and matchmake and talk about, you know, all this stuff, I'm still a member of different Discord servers because sometimes I might be online and, you know, a huge portion of, you know, players that are on our server, you know, may not be around. Well, what am I going to do? It's nice to be able to jump in, hop into other servers and look for people and be able to eventually get a group, or, you know, of people that are basically very good at these game, you know, these missions and good at the game to be able to come together and play a mission, you know, because of convenience nonetheless. But that's basically my point of view. I wanted to share that with you guys. I appreciate your time and audience. Thanks for even watching the video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Peace.